Hey SiGMA, it's Mike here again, and today I'm here with Samir from Blocksport. And Blocksport has been innovating as a major player in the industry, one of the only integrated ecosystems for sports across multiple types. And they've been doing innovation both and expansion both in technology and ecosystem. And so we're learning here today about what they've been working on and some new exciting developments in the space, both across not only where they're working, but how they're doing it. So Samir, welcome. Thank you for being here. I thank you for having you back. Tell me a little bit about some of the innovations that you're working on right now.
Sure, thank you. It's been a journey, obviously, over the past 6 to 12 months, or over the past few years. Blocksport has come a long way, as you said. We very much started the esports space and arena and just moved to traditional sports. So, we're very proud to sort of say that we have this full ecosystem, which for us is very important, that we can offer our partners and all sports clubs we're working with the sort of opportunity to create something that's very, very beneficial for their fans. Because from a fan engagement app all the way to NFTs and fan tokens, it's something that we really want to promote for the benefit of the clubs and the fans alone. Of course, on top of that, as we're seeing lots of innovations happening in the world of blockchain technology, we're also soon going to be looking to bring out the NFT games and also the VR component of it in order to enable the fans to experience these games in a very, very special, particular way. And we're looking to do that on a global scale. We recently announced the partnerships we've done in Africa. In South Africa, we're soon announcing the sort of partnership with the biggest football franchise in South Africa, Kaizer Chiefs. In other parts of Africa, in Kenya, we're about to announce the partnership with the Kenyan Rugby Union. And for some of the people who don't know, but Kenya is a major contender to play at the World Cup next year. And of course, across the Middle East, we're about to make some announcements in Saudi Arabia. And in South America, we're about to start working with some of the major football and basketball clubs here. So for us, the last 6 months have been very important to expand the reach, to expand our partnerships and sort of acquire some very powerful brands. And of course, across Europe, we're already working with a number of high-profile clubs from Empoli in Italy to Red Salford Devils in United Kingdom and a number of European entities.
Very exciting. Lots of expansion happening, both in geography. But you mentioned a couple very interesting things about changing the player experience, specifically around blockchain and Web3 and unique different types of integrated experiences, immersive experiences. Tell me about some of those new technologies that you're implementing and how that changes that player experience.
Well, I'm of a great belief that I think initially sports tech companies and the clubs around the world have got it wrong in terms of the way in which they engage with their audience, in particular their fans. As a former chairman of a football club, I always believe that the one most important and the biggest asset of any sports club is their fan base. And unless you really understand what your fan base of the Gen Z is really looking millennials are the sort of slightly older generations, but the Gen Z is really living inside their smartphones, really consuming technology in a different way. And you really need to find a way in which you can engage them beyond traditional ways of inviting them to football games, to basketball games, and get them to attend the stadiums or buy the jerseys. So, we've created various fan missions inside the app. We're also encouraging the fans to engage beyond just being inside the app by the acquiring benefits by the purchase of the fan tokens. We're trying to link NFT world with the real physical world as well, because I think with the collapse of the crypto market over the past few months, I think lots of clubs around the world are becoming a little bit skeptical and cynical and very cautious, which is not a bad thing. So I think the way in which we're promoting the NFTs with our partners is to make sure that there's a physical component attached to it. And of course, one of the biggest things in the world of sports and entertainment at the moment is a play and earn, the gamified component, which we are also bringing into our ecosystem and trying to really promote that the fans can not only benefit by a better engagement and get the sort of money can't buy experiences, but they can also earn money whilst they're playing some of these NFT games.
That's wonderful to hear. The idea and the concept of understanding and bridging Web3 into real-world experiences, this idea of interplay between the physical and digital experience, is absolutely critical. And I think you're the only company I've ever heard of that's really taking that first step and finding the right ways to implement it for their entire ecosystem. So it's very exciting. We're here at SiGMA in Belgrade for the first time ever for the CIS region. I hear that you've been here a lot and you've been pretty active on the ground. Tell me about why this region is so important.
Well, I think Serbia in particular, and I often say, is probably one of the sports powerhouses in the world. You don't need to go far away to know that Novak Djokovic is #1 tennis player for a long, long time. Over the decades, Serbia has delivered some of the best footballers and basketball players in the world. If we go back to the 80s and 90s, actually the Americans in the NBA didn't believe that anybody in Europe could play decent basketball until many guys from this part of the world, from Divac to Djordjevic to Danilovic, actually end up playing in NBA. So it's the center of sports power, and it's becoming also a major center of technology and blockchain. And over the past year or so, Belgrade actually hosted some of the biggest conferences in blockchain, in NFT, in sort of the industry and technology that is taking the entire region by storm. I'm here regularly because Blocksport has recently entered into the 5-year partnership with the Partizan Belgrade Basketball Club, which recently returned to the EuroLeague under the helm of the biggest coaches of all time, Željko Obradović, who actually won 9 EuroLeague titles. Imagine somebody in the Champions League in football winning 9 titles. It's next to impossible. So not only did we launch the fun engagement app for Partizan, but we recently launched their fun tokens, which have been really positively received by their players and their fans. And at the same time, we at the moment preparing the launch of the NFTs. And in actual fact, the club is really keen to fully digitalize and tokenize the club offering towards the fans, and would like to achieve it in the next 6 to 12 months, that unless you have the fun engagement app, which offers all sorts of benefits to their fans, you can't really much longer remain as a fan of the 21st century club, which is back to the almost old glory and on the way to kind of win major titles in Europe.
Well, thank you. I mean, the innovation that you guys are bringing, not just in the future, but bringing together now, is quite inspiring. We're seeing a lot of innovation on the floor, but I think what you're doing is quite unique. So thank you so much for joining us, telling us about the massive expansion, the exciting news with the company. And it's great to see you here at SiGMA Belgrade.